puppies, and a presidential safari are all on this day. Welcome back to On This Day. Today's date is March 23rd, 2021. It is the 82nd day of the year. We got 283 days left. It is the 12th Tuesday and the 4th day of spring. 3 months till summer. Today is National Puppy Day. National Puppy Day seeks to celebrate the unconditional love that puppies bring to our lives. Puppies are young dogs. Did you need me to tell you that? Because I'm getting it from the website. Apparently they needed to tell us that. Depending on the breed, some can remain as puppies longer than others. This day aims to help save orphaned puppies across the globe by encouraging adoption. You know what? I can give you some other details about it, but instead I'm just going to show you this video of these puppies. All right, let's see what else March 23rd has given us. (1909). Teddy Roosevelt leaves New York for a post-presidency safari in Africa. The trip is sponsored by the Smithsonian Institute and the National Geographic Society. The Smithsonian Roosevelt African Expedition was an expedition to Africa led by American President Theodore Roosevelt and outfitted by the Smithsonian Institute. This wasn't just a safari to kill a bunch of things. They actually had a purpose behind killing everything. They collected specimens for the Smithsonian's new Natural History Museum, which is now known as the National Museum of Natural History. The expedition collected over 11,000 specimens, which took the Smithsonian's naturalists 8 years to catalog. After the expedition, Roosevelt wrote a book called African Game Trails. It's a good book. If you get a chance, read it. I read it years ago. Probably not the best for the Greenpeace PETA people, but it's interesting. Could you imagine a president or ex-president, like in this case, going on a safari these days? Oh my God, they would just be tearing him apart. But everything I've read about Teddy Roosevelt, I think he'd be okay with them tearing him apart. I don't think it would bother him at all. 1919, in Milan, Italy, Benito Mussolini founded his fascist political movement. Yeah, this is another one of those guys that really serve no reason to live ever, you know? He's up there with Hitler and all those other guys that, yeah, if they never existed, we'd probably be better off. 1965, NASA launches the Gemini 3, the United States' first two-man space flight. The crew was Gus Grissom and John Young. You never hear about John Young. You hear about Neil Armstrong, Gus Grissom, and all those other guys. I've never even heard of John Young till I read this, and I actually looked him up. He was one of the original dudes. 1977, the first of the Nixon interviews. Now, they've got a movie on this called Frost versus Nixon, whatever it was. Good movie. But these were interviews videotaped by British journalist David Frost while he was interviewing the former United States President Richard Nixon about the Watergate scandal and the Nixon tapes. The Nixon tapes, which hours and hours of them are missing. These were audio recordings from inside the Oval Office, but when they started investigating him for Watergate and all that, those things just seemed to disappear. Or at least certain portions of it. 1994, a United States Air Force F-16 aircraft collides with the United States Air Force C-130, which is a troop carrier, at Pope Air Force Base in North Carolina, killing 24 United States Army soldiers. This later became known as the Green Ramp disaster. Hey, another plane accident. 2009, FedEx Express Flight 80, a McDonnell Douglas MD-11 flying from China, crashes at Tokyo's Narita International Airport, killing both the captain and the co-pilot. Nobody else died in that one. You know, those FedEx planes go down occasionally. There's maybe 2 or 3 people on it. I mean, that's sad, but you know, you always hear of a plane crash and you expect it to be like 80 people to 200 people dying. No, they've lost a few over the years, and it's only 2 or 3. 2019, the U.S.-backed Syrian Democratic Forces declared military victory over the Islamic State of Iraq after 4 years of fighting. Now, they defeated them, but these guys kind of scattered, and they have sleeper cells all across Syria and Iraq, just causing trouble. So it wasn't like a total defeat and surrender like maybe the Japanese or the Germans did in the past. They just sort of disbanded and started doing the whole, you know, lone wolf type attacks. Kind of like a cancer. You think the chemo's gonna knock it out, and then 6 months later it seems to come back on people. Movies released on March 23rd, 1990. One of the greatest movies of all time, if you're a woman. Actually, men love this movie too. Pretty Woman. This movie, you know, she was around and she was in movies, but Julia Roberts blew up after this movie. This was like her groundbreaking role that really put her into superstardom. And it also helped relaunch Richard Gere's career. Great movie, though. I don't know how many times I've seen it, but it's just a really good movie. Born on March 23rd, 1922, Marty Allen is born. He was born Morton David Alpern on March 23rd, 1922. But he's better known as Marty Allen. He was an American comedian, actor, and philanthropist. He worked as a comedian in nightclubs all across the country and was a dramatic actor in television roles. He appeared in so many different things from the 60s through the 70s and somewhat into the 80s. During his comedy career, Allen also toured military hospitals, performed for veterans, and for active duty personnel as well. I saw him years ago. This is the reason I bring him up. I saw him years ago on some talk show. Could have been Johnny Carson or Mike Douglas, whatever. It was like early 80s. And he had the best line. They were talking to him about careers and stuff like that. And I forget the exact question, but his response was, "I was lucky. I got into TV right before they made good looks a requirement." I thought, okay, that's pretty funny. Died on March 23rd. 2011, Elizabeth Taylor, American-British actress and socialite. She's also a humanitarian. She made her acting debut with a minor role in Universal Pictures' film There's One Born Every Minute. She was also known for her work in Father of the Bride, National Velvet, A Place in the Sun, so many more. She died at the age of 79 due to congestive heart failure. She was so beautiful when she was young. Oh my God, absolutely gorgeous. When I worked at Netflix, I had a guy call in. He used to call in all the time, so they'd pass him over to the supervisors and stuff, and I'd get a hold of him. His name was Dale. Don't know his last name. Always remember him, though. I think he was dying himself, but he would call every single day 2 or 3 times. The day Elizabeth Taylor died, I was working there, and I get Dale. And Dale wants me to delete everything from his queue of movies being sent to him and everything deleted. He just wants me to fill it with Elizabeth Taylor stuff. Now, I don't know why he couldn't do this on his own. I think he just liked to call in and talk to someone. And he did it so much that we actually blackballed the poor guy. It wasn't our decision. I mean, he was a pleasant guy, wonderful guy, but corporate came down and said he was just taking too much of our time up. And so they kind of blackballed him from calling in. It's too bad. I don't know whatever happened to Dale. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a great day, be nice to each other.